Good evening, everybody. This is Jake Gibson from the Paws Up podcast. Hopefully my audio is coming in okay. I'm coming at you live from the media tents on the west side of the stadium. On the other side of the stadium, of course, is the scoreboard with the audio, so hopefully you're hearing me okay. But in any event, this is the halftime report of the Paws Up podcast. Thank you to everybody who watched the preview. We had some good turnouts for that, and it's been a pretty fun game so far. Your score, FIU 14, the University of Maine 6. So without further ado, let's just get into some of the statistics from the first half, as well as some of my thoughts on what we've seen. Starting off with FIU, of course, who racked up a total of 176 passing yards in the first half. They also got 7 first downs. They, in total, Keon Jenkins, who was a last-minute decision to start this game for the FIU Panthers, he did 10 completions for 17 attempts, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He was been sacked 3 times, but during the course of the game, he threw a 62-yard bomb to Chris Mitchell for one of FIU's scores. As a matter of fact, both touchdowns for the FIU Panthers were passes from Keon Jenkins to Chris Mitchell. So just straight off the bat, that connection, Keon to Chris, that might be something special here. Let's hope. Let's pray. But so far, I think Keon had a pretty all right first half, considering it's his first ever game for FIU. Granted, it's against Maine, an FCS school, but Maine has played the Panthers tough. There's no doubt about it, putting up 6 points of their own. So overall, I think Keon has been okay. It's kind of hard to judge him too harshly. We'll have to see what he does in the second half. But I think FIU's offense has been okay. Now, granted, there were some moments where I feel like they kind of messed up. And what I mean by that is, as I work here, I think FIU, for the most part, the play calling has improved. The play calling is very different from the first game. The game against Louisiana Tech, it was a run-oriented, pass-later kind of game. This, however, it's been a good mix, pass and run. And I appreciate that. Offensive coordinator David Yost has changed his scheme, and I think for the most part he has done a pretty good job play calling, except for the 2 attempts. It is very windy outside right now, but there were 2 fourth downs in Maine territory where I felt like, they could just kick the three and extend their lead. But instead they decided to go for it. Both times they did not convert. The score could be 20-6, but it's 14-6. Which, I mean, granted, I think there's a lot of room to improve on for this FIU offense. But all things considered, brand new quarterback at the helm, a bunch of brand new weapons. I think it's been all right so far. The offensive line has been good. The receivers have been good. Tight ends have been good. I think Shamari Lawrence and the running game has been okay, but not as good, but now nowhere near as good as Louisiana Tech so far. Shamari Lawrence has 23 yards off of 23 yards, a 10-yard run. Keon Jenkins himself did a lot of running. He's rushed for 31 yards up to this point, a 17-yard run as well to move FIU down the change, I believe, in the first quarter. Receiving-wise, Chris Mitchell has had a good game, of course, 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has been the Tyreek Hill to Tua Tagovailoa. I think that's been a very fun connection, Tua to Tyreek, and we'll see how that sort of evolves as time goes, especially here in the second half. I believe FIU was favored by 14 in the sports book, so FIU is not playing to that extent. But overall, can you really be too upset at how FIU has looked? I don't think so. I keep saying this, and I'll say it one more time. Keon Jenkins has played a solid first half, especially considering he was thrown into this game. This is his first game, all right? Now, looking at FIU's defense, I think FIU has actually done really well in defense. I mean, they've held Maine to 6 points. Not really much else needs to be said there, but, holding a team to 6 points in the first half is pretty good. Now, looking at the University of Maine, they actually have more first downs than FIU, 13 in total. They also have 102 yards rushing, which is more than FIU. However, they only have 79 yards passing, which is way less than FIU, kind of a reverse from what we saw from the Panthers versus the Bulldogs a week ago. So, yeah, I think aside from both FIU's offensive defense doing okay, I think we would all like to see them do a bit better. Not to mention maybe commit a little less penalties along the way, because so far it is very windy. My goodness, FIU has been hit with 4 penalties totaling 49 yards. Maine has also been hit with 4 penalties themselves, but some sloppy stuff here and there. Granted, you can sort of get away with that because, like, once again, this is an FCS school, and I think FIU has all the momentum right now in this game. Granted, I believe Maine is going to receive the ball in the second half. So, yeah, again, so to summarize the first half, FIU scored first off a 19-yard pass from Chris Mitchell to from Keon Jenkins with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Maine then responded with 2 field goals, one in the first quarter, one in the second, and then with less than 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, Chris Mitchell once again, or Keon Jenkins once again found Chris Mitchell for 62 yards for the second touchdown of the night for FIU. So your score, FIU 14, Maine 6. So my final thoughts, it's been an okay first half for the FIU Panthers. You'd like to see them do a bit better in some certain aspects. But the big storyline of this game, of course, has been the replacement of Grayson James for Keon Jenkins. And to that extent, I think he's been okay. He could be better, but I think he's been okay. So, yeah, I believe that is it. We are about 5 minutes away from the start of the first half. Of course, we will be doing a post-game show as well following the final score, as well as some quotes from Mike McIntyre and maybe some players. That is all coming up. But for now, I hope you all have enjoyed the halftime report by myself, Jay Gibson. It's been a fun one so far here at FIU Stadium. Once again, your score, FIU 14, Maine 6. As always, Paws up. See you later.